So you should have a copy of the Unit 1 assessment, and this video and the second video are, or actually is my approach to discussing the test since I'm not here. So please complete problems 1 and 2 on page 1, and then on page 2, please complete problems 3 and 4. You need patty paper. It's available in the metal cabinet. When you are ready to have a discussion on the 4 problems, please turn the video back on. So problem number 1 was actually completed, at least much of it was completed in this handout, which is lesson 15-16. For example, the square, we actually found that it actually matched up 4 times, which means that each time it matched up, we rotated it 90 degrees. And the question we're asking here is what shapes have 180 degree rotation symmetry? So this one here actually is a square is a yes, because if I rotate it to 2 angles or 2 90s, that would give me a 180 degree rotation. So I can do a 90, a 180, a 270, and a 360 for the square. So 180 is possible for the square. You're also given a rectangle on the last page, and that one's 180. So that's also a yes. Then we have a pentagon, and so the pentagon we found by dividing it up into 5 equal pieces that each angle is 72 degrees. So if I rotate it once, it's 72. If I rotate it a second time, that's 144, which is 2 72s. And if I rotate it a third time, that's 216, which is too much. So the pentagon is not possible. So for of the 5, the pentagon is a no. The rectangle is a yes, as well as the square. Now for the triangle itself, if I rotate this 180 degrees, which is a half a turn, that basically puts the A in the bottom right corner. So the only time this one's going to match up is if I actually go a full 360 degrees, where A will actually end up back at the top again, where it was to start with. So this is a no on A. Again, B was a yes, C was a yes, D was a no. Now for the last one, we've talked about the regular hexagon quite a few times. And so if I take the 360 degrees, which is the full circle at the center, and I divide it by 6, that means each angle of rotation from here to here is going to be 60 degrees. I go to the next one, that'll be another 60 degrees, and so on. So each of these are 60 degree angles, and we're trying to make 180 degrees, which means I would need to rotate 1, twice, 3 times would get me to the 180. So 180 is possible with a regular hexagon if you rotate it 3 angles, or 360s. In problem number 2, if I'm reflecting over this line, this is my point, that means the point would be over here, not down here, so A doesn't work. If I rotate point A over the line, it's going to be over here someplace. So again, it's not going to be here. So B or C doesn't work. B, I'm again rotating here, this point, which means it's going to be over here. And so B is actually the right answer here. The last one, again, looks very similar to B. If I rotate or reflect over this line, this point A will be over here, not up here. That's why D doesn't work. So the answer, number 2, is B. All right, problem 3. I would hopefully you took a sheet of patty paper for this one. And there's 4 choices here, or 5 choices here. Notice that rotation was used a lot in this one. So we have A, E, F, and B. So the first question is, can I reflect it over EF? So if I would take and fold this along EF, and I would actually line this up and reflect over EF, you'll notice that it doesn't line up. So A is a no. Problem B is asking you to do a counterclockwise rotation around point G. So it'll be this direction, and that one there is a yes. It's asking you to do the same thing in terms of rotation of 180 degrees, but this time instead of counterclockwise, we're going clockwise. So that one also lines up. D asks you to translate using the vector F to E, so that means the shape is up here. I slide it up, and then we're supposed to reflect over EF. So if I reflect that shape over EF, so I'm going to slide the shape up using vector FE. I'm going from F to E, and then reflect over EF. You'll notice the shape's just not going to match up. And the last one is we're also doing a translation using vector FE. And then it's asking you to rotate around point E, and that's the original point E, not E prime. So if I rotate that clockwise 180 degrees, keep it on the point there, it does match up. So D is a no and E is a yes. It does work. So all the rotations did work. And then the last one for this video, and then you can continue on the last 2 pages, and then turn on the other video when you're ready to look at those answers. So here's the shape, and we just did a regular hexagon in problem number 1, and so all of these angles are 60 degrees. We do 360 divided by 6. So what we're asking here is if I would rotate shape BE 160 degrees, 120 degrees clockwise, where does BC end up at? So if I go 160, that would be 60 degrees. If I go a second 60, that would be the 120. So BC ends up at line segment FA. So that is the answer to the first one. By rotating clockwise 120 degrees, we end up at FA. And then the second one, we're doing a reflection over FC. So I'm going to go ahead and reflect, do the fold here. So what we're asking here is if I would reflect BC over FC, where does BC end up at? So BC ends up here. So BC ends up at DC. When I reflect this segment here, it ends up here over that line FC. So the answer here is DC. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and close this video. Please finish the last 2 pages of the test and then watch the second video.